So I'm a fake, huh? Yeah, I guess so. For the longest time, I couldn't stand the feeling of being unable to do anything. I couldn't permit it. The constant unreasonableness of both those who stole and those who were stolen from. Despite being powerless, I couldn't just remain still. I wanted to make the world a better place. The result of which is all this. Sometimes help can be found in the most unexpected of places. Sometimes wisdom can be conjured up from the ramblings of a madman. My Hero Academia, chapter 326, almost 2 entire years ago. We see a man named Toshinori walking through the desolate streets, ridden by crime. A city he once kept safe. A city that was once filled with smiles and sunshine and laughter. All under the umbrella of a symbol of peace, which no longer exists. He reaches the town square. There, Toshinori sees the man he once was. Brilliant, striking, buffed out the wazoo. All Might, the greatest hero that ever lived. Past tense. He considers all of this his fault. As a symbol of peace, it was his job to keep everyone safe forever. But age and injury simply caught up. And so he finds himself in a position where he is trying desperately to quickly push his successor forward, and his successor is going out of his way to push himself further and further and harder, getting himself into more dangerous situations to the point where he's being targeted by the most powerful people in the world. This boy, Izuku Midoriya, holds hope within his hands. He holds the future, the quirk that All Might once had, the quirk that Toshinori used to become the symbol of peace, now exists within this young boy. And in this moment of strife, of terror, Toshinori can do nothing. He can only sit idly by and wait for someone else to save the world. Upon the statue of the man he once was, in order to punctuate this entire, mindscape that Toshinori is in right now, he looks upon this symbol of peace. He looks upon All Might, the man who should be keeping everyone safe right now, the man who can't, and with on him is a sign. A dark reflection of his once wonderful catchphrase. It simply says, "I am not here." Yeah. I'm not here, alright. So I want to talk about My Hero Academia. This is a series that I've gotten into relatively recently, I should say. I'm probably going to get a whole lot of stuff wrong. I'm probably not going to get every single detail correct. this is all just coming from the back of my mind, but things have been happening in this manga. And I do say manga, anime only, guys. This is your warning. I am going to be spoiling some brand new stuff. Chapter 399, maybe even 400. I forget which chapter I just read, but some crazy stuff has been happening. Do you like my Batman Snuggie? A, it's a little bit cold in here. B, I felt it was, well, necessary. It was fitting, considering the source material that we're talking about. So, let's talk about All Might. Let's talk about My Hero Academia for a little bit. So, while All Might is sitting there standing, reflecting on his entire career, he's met with a villain. Hero Killer Stain. One of the first villains of the show itself, right? And Stain, he holds a sword up to All Might because he thinks that All Might, of all people, are throwing shade, are lampshading, are daring to say anything negative, to insult the work of true heroes like All Might. He looks upon this skinny, washed up has-been, and he just thinks he's a regular guy. Because why wouldn't he think of anything else? He's been in prison. He didn't see the big epic fight that he had against All For One. So, Stain sees this guy throwing shade against the heroes, throws up a sword. Are you going to downplay the work of heroes? I should kill you right now, civilian. All Might tries to convince him that, well, he is All Might. This guy, Toshinori, is All Might. He can buff up, he can look the part, but Stain is a madman. He's a crazy person. You can definitely tell he's got the big bug eyes, and he just says, "No, you lie! You lie, you not All Might! Explain, talk now!" Like, this guy is a crazy person, and you can definitely tell, so All Might can't really get that across to him, but, in this moment, Stain starts to talk about what All Might is. Hero Killer Stain is a guy who murders people because they want to view heroism as a job. They want to effectively sell merchandise. They want to get paid. They want something other than to help people. And Stain finds that altruism disgusting. He hates it. So he kills them. And that's what his whole shebang is. And it's people like All Might, people like Midoriya, who help him to see the error of his ways, to help him to be like, well, maybe they're not all bad. And he starts to talk about what All Might truly is. He goes, well, All Might was never about the quirk. It was never about his strength. If it was about his quirk, if it was about his strength, if that was the reason he was a symbol of peace, then anyone could be that. Any singular person could be that symbol of peace. Because quirks are just strong across the board. He is overwhelmingly strong. All Might was overpowered in every conceivable way, but it wasn't that power that brought people to him. It was that magnetism. It was that ability to put a big old grin on your face and say, I am here. You know you're safe when All Might is around, because he's not doing this for the money. He's not doing this for the brand. He's not doing this to sell merch. He's doing this because he wants to help people. And ain't that just what you're supposed to do as a superhero? Help people? And Stain talks about this, and he grabs Toshinori, yanks him behind a boulder, and he says, you look at that statue. Look at it. You don't even deserve to see what you're about to see, but you should see this. You All Might fraud wannabe hack. And All Might sees the last person that he saved. he sees this young girl running up to this statue in the rain, surrounded by nobody, doing it only for altruistic purposes, only because she doesn't want to see All Might's legacy be trashed by this sign. So she runs up and she goes to take it out. And then big fight scenes happen, right? Girl is attacked, girl is saved, etc., etc., etc. What matters is that this is a moment where All Might kind of gets his fire back a little bit. All Might realizes that in a world where he can do nothing, he just has to do what he can, right? So we start setting some things up. And all of this, almost 80 chapters ago, all of this culminates into a single point. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been blessed with one of the greatest fights in Japanese manga history. I have been blown away by everything that is happening right now. It's easily the best thing that has happened in My Hero Academia. It's easily the most hype thing that I've experienced while reading this manga, while watching the show, while experiencing this brand, right? But it's starting to cross over. It's one of my favorite fights of all time. It's incredible. And every week I think there is no way that this can get any better, but it keeps on getting better, and that's why I'm here. I need to talk about this. I have to talk about Carmite. So All Might had a car fashioned that could split apart and become an external suit of battle armor that is filled with the quirks of all of his students so that he can fight a younger, in his prime version of the most powerful enemy that the world has ever seen. It is one for all versus all for one. Fighting. When this fight started, everyone, when we saw All Might standing next to the car, briefcase in hand, looking out at the most powerful force that the world has ever seen, with this epic sweeping panel going, I am here, everyone single-handedly sat down and went, All Might's dead. It's over, boys. All Might's gonna die here, dude. There's no way he's going to escape this. This is all for one. All Might doesn't have a quirk. He doesn't have a chance. But he has the armor. And he has all the lessons that he's learned throughout the entire 400 chapter run of this series. And he uses that. All of a sudden, he's using Izuku's ability to study just little minute details of every villain, every hero, and mashes them together so that he can use them in a fight. He has fought All for One so many times that he just knows stats about him, and he throws out the stats. And he goes, this is my plan. I have a plan, and I'm going to fight you. And then, outside of the fight, everyone went, All Might is dead. Every single person reading went, All Might is dead. There's no way he's surviving this. In universe, they start streaming his fight. And people are saying, turn off the stream. Don't watch this. We're about to watch the death of a beloved icon. We are about to watch the symbol of peace be brutalized and mutilated and killed for fun. But at the end of that chapter, what does All Might say? He is no longer Toshinori. No, he is not some piddling man who can sit idly by and do nothing. He is a guy who will do everything in his power to help people. Why? Because what a joy it is to help others. And I'm going to do everything that I can to help them. And besides, how long have I been doing this? How long have I been in this business? Did you think that I would start a fight that I planned on losing? Boom! Oh my god, it's so good! And so All Might goes absolutely on a tear against All For One. It seems like he knows every single move that this guy is going to do before he can even do it, and he is just punching back with twice as much effort, studying, knowing every intricate detail of his other half, and using the perfect solutions against it. This isn't a fight about brutalizing the opponent. This isn't a fight about winning. It's a fight about just buying enough time. Because All For One's on a time limit now. He is rapidly reversing in age. Eventually, he'll stop aging. Because there will be nothing left. And that's all All Might needs for his win con. So they fight. He's putting everything he can. He's using the quirks of every single one of his students, replicated in robot armor version. Nanomachine, son. I don't know. He creates a gigantic orbital death cannon modeled after Aoyama. And it's awesome. Barely gets away. Still fighting. On the back foot now. All Might has nothing left. He has been beat. He has been whacked. He has been smashed. He's been thrown around by this enemy. He's not doing this without being able to take hits. He has to fight recklessly. So he takes a hit every time he gets a good lick in. And every time he takes a hit, poof, there's another piece of the power armor completely blown off. Well, now I gotta replace that, but there's only so much that I have. I am on the back foot. I am running out of steam. I am running out of steel. All of my bones are broken. I'm just hoping that I can survive long enough to where the pain does not overshadow my joy right now. Because the only thing that I gotta do is keep smiling. Come and fight me, All For One, you fool. Incredible. So All For One, he's reverting in age. He's become a small toddler. All Might is finally on his last legs. He doesn't have much more to give. And All For One knows this, so he starts to ramp up. He starts combining quirks. He starts to create something powerful and devastating to finally rid the world of his once fatal enemy. It's time to get rid of All Might. We don't need him anymore. He charges a big epic quirk, a gigantic blast to finally end it all. But no matter how powerful you are, no matter how devastating and godlike a visage you might have, there's one thing that every human being shares. We all share the same red blood. All For One freezes. I can't move. What is happening? All Might, how did you do that? Looks up. Stain is here! Yes! 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 Oh my god! Oh my god! Stain is here to help All Might. From all the way 76 chapters ago, we set this up, and right now we are paying it off. This is the shit we come for, man. Long-term storytelling, setups, brilliant, unabashed, incredible payoff. Oh, I can't wait for next week. Oh my god, this has been such an incredible, incredible fight. I cannot believe just how many throwbacks there have been, how much All Might has learned. This fight, before this fight actually happened, I was very, very adamantly against it. I did not want this fight to happen, ever, at all. Because I felt like that would be just, I don't know, too... It would have felt too nostalgia baiting, I guess. It would have been like trying to bait too much hype. But seeing it actually happen, I can't help but fall into that trap. And oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Read this manga. It can be a little bit cringy and bad sometimes. The protagonist is a little bit of a washboard, but when Horikoshi is on it, he is on it. He can write some incredible things. And I hope this keeps going. Until next time, remember what you're fighting for.